low. And that's why we call upon many people to join this business, because there is plenty of market that we can't finish for about even 50 years from now. We can't sustain this market. So we call upon many people to come and join it. There is plenty of market. And on top of that, aside from having the market, if you add value on your products, you even expand your market base. So just take it from me that there is plenty of market. You look around, you walk 3 miles before finding someone selling honey. This would show that it is a scarce item or product, and scarce things have plenty of market. We all know this at the bottom of our hearts.
Focusing on the beekeeping, let's try to get into the business of honey. Honey omubisi gwenjuki, and I feel it is where you see in hospitals normally people who are having issues with sugar-related diseases are normally prescribed with the honey to actually add into the tea, because in the honey sector in Uganda. How is it so far? And if you're to look at the honey industries in Uganda, do you think we have as much as we need as a country?
No, we don't have much as we need. There is there are still gaps in this industry. I should tell you there are still gaps in this industry, that the local beekeepers, those who do beekeeping rudimentarily in their villages, they still have no access to equipment used in beekeeping. They still have no funds in beekeeping. Some of them still have phobia over bees. So there are still a lot of gaps in beekeeping, especially with the equipment to use. That's where the gap is. Because to produce the quality product one expects, you should have the right tool or equipment to produce that. But once there is that gap, that a farmer deep there in the village cannot access this equipment to do that exact job at that particular time, then that one alone makes us lag behind in the industry. So access to beekeeping equipment is still our biggest gap in this industry.
Now let's also talk about the available market of honey. If you ever go to retail shops, look at the supermarkets and our local shops, majorly the honey that we have, you may find out different brands of honey. And then the challenge is we also have honey coming in from other countries. Also understand where in Uganda can the honey producers or the beekeepers get their market? Where is the market for their honey that they actually get from their bees?
Kindly pardon me, I'm having a problem with network. Pardon me on that question.
Mr. Stephen, I was actually getting back to you and trying to ask, let's look at the market of honey in Uganda today. Where do you think the market is? Do we have ready market in Uganda, or the market for our honey is actually in the foreign markets? And besides that also, what benefit is there for the honey keepers here in Uganda? Because I want to also understand that if we have the market, which benefits do they get? Is there good money for their honey?
There is good market here, here locally in Uganda. We have plenty of market that you will realize that about 90% of the beekeepers here do not know about the foreign market. They sell their honey here in Uganda and they are comfortable. It is the informed beekeepers or those who have who work with export companies that go into exportation of honey. But local beekeepers will tell you that we find a market here local and we are satisfied. So the market here is plenty, even if we don't look at the external market, the market outside Uganda. The market we have here already is just enough, because it will only be, the market will be scarce, or we won't be having enough market if we produce 5 tons of honey monthly. Then there we shall cry of market. But at this rate, when we're still producing 1%, we shouldn't worry about market. That one is a problem we can worry about in future. But then we have a solution for it. We won't worry about the market in future, because nowadays we are engaging our beekeepers in value addition of bee products. And once you add a value on any product in agriculture, be sure that there is plenty of market. So to beekeepers out there who
how can a business person tell that this honey is of good quality and the other honey is of bad quality? Kuba kukatale kubako omubisi gwenjuki ogwenjawulo, waliwo ogubeera dark, waliwo ogubeera light, newabawo ogumu nga bagamba guno guva Dubai, omulala guva Kenya, n'ogamba nti which one is of good quality, and how can someone get to understand the standards of good honey?
Consider the color or even the texture of honey being this honey is of good quality or not. No, we have some tests we carry out on honey to see whether it is of good quality or not. For example, if it is pure honey and you light a matchstick, a matchstick, if you light a matchstick and put it on that honey, it will burn, because most honey products are highly flammable. That is one test you can do at home. If you have honey, light a matchstick and then forward it to the honey, you will see it burning frequently. So that is one test we can do on honey to prove whether it is of good quality or not. Another test could be, you could get a piece of paper from a book and then put the sample of honey on top of that paper. Then you can pass your hand below the paper. If you feel some water getting or passing through the paper, you can easily tell that this honey is impure. Pure honey does not wet a paper, but adulterated honey or impure honey will wet a paper, because it is the water that will be wetting that paper. Another property we can look at is the thumb test. If you put honey here on this thumb, it will drip off like water. Get a feeling that that is impure honey. Because honey is thick in nature, if you put it on a thumb like this, it might stick there even for a day. So those are some of the measures we can use to tell whether this honey is standard or not.
Honey. Okay, let's also try to look at the requirements it needs to have, or what are those major requirements people need to get at the back of their mind, that before I venture into the honey business, this is what I need to understand, this is what I need to know. Before I start beekeeping, this is what I need to know. Bintu kyebyo ebikulu ennyo omuntu by'alina osooka okumanya nga tannaba kwengeginga mu business eno ey'omubisi oba n'ey'okeeping enjuki, kuba at the end of the day n'okeeping enjuki oba oyagala kujja mu mubisi.
Yes, before you engage into beekeeping, one thing you must know, and this is a fact, everybody will tell you, as you engage in beekeeping, that the bee's life is dependent on flowers. If you don't have flowers at your place or where you want to keep the bees, then beekeeping is not for you. In fact, such people should first plant flowers if they don't have. Another thing you need is the water, because 17% of bees collect this water from, they collect it from the nearby water source. So sure that there is a water source close by, or you will take the burden of improvising this water from every time and then. Another thing you need to know is that as you engage in beekeeping, you need a quality beehive. This can be a Katy beehive or a Langstroth hive. It should be made of quality wood, and then it should be made of quality design, following the correct full dimensions. Because as we design these beehives, we consider some dimensions for some reason that can be explained scientifically. Another thing you need as you start beekeeping is the accessibility of your farm, because honey is very sweet and everybody wants to get it for free. So if you start beekeeping, ensure that you ensure security of your apiary or your farm, so that intruders or thieves cannot come and take away your honey. Another thing you need are the protective gears, those clothes you see us putting on while going to face the bees. Those ones protect us from these stings. So as you think of starting beekeeping, think of having the protective wares, think of having the smokers. The smoker will help you to smoke the bees such that they come down and leave you to operate, either to harvest or even to inspect. If you don't have a smoker, such activity becomes hard to do. You need a hive tool. This helps you open the beehive during inspection or even harvesting. You need a hive tool also during harvesting and also cutting the combs from the beehive if you're dealing with local or even transitional hives. And then you need a bee brush. This will help you when you open a beehive. Normally, a lot of bees come with the combs. So you brush them off gently so that it gives you a view of whatever you want to see. So those are some of the things you need to consider before you start beekeeping.
Also, I want also you to help us and give some tips to the supermarket or retailers on what they need to do when they are actually going to buy this honey. Because remember, they buy the processed honey, and what are the things that they need to remember about the quality of honey? At least this time around, let's look at the business people who sell the honey to the final consumer, and of what should they consider before purchasing this honey.
For the supermarket people, for example, who buy honey, I have my honey and I take it to them. We agree on the prices to sell it. That wouldn't be a good idea. I advise the supermarket people that if you want to collaborate with a beekeeper, know where they get the honey from. For example, if I'm a beekeeper, you need to come to my apiary and see that this is where I get the honey from, so that you're sure of what you're selling in the supermarkets. Otherwise, because in the supermarket there is a lot of honey on shelves, once a customer comes and finds bad honey, be sure that even the good honey left on the shelves will be considered bad. So it is better for the supermarket people, even the retailers, to know their beekeeper. In fact, I've always told the honey consumers that if you're not a beekeeper, at least know your beekeeper. Know that I collect honey from Mr. X or Mrs. X. That way you're sure of what you're buying. And that's how we can kick out fake people or conmen in the industry. Know your beekeepers, and that way to help us support our local beekeepers. But if you wait for someone to bring you honey, middleman, the third party, be sure you're going to consume something that is bad. Know your beekeepers if you need to consume the quality honey.
Even Mr. Steven, let me first get your introduction first. I forgot to get the other name before you actually give in your last assessment.
Yeah, I'm Stephen Ukunihira, project coordinator at Mr. Bees Africa Limited.
And final remarks as we are heading out of this discussion.
My final remarks are that I invite more people to come and join us in this industry of beekeeping to raise the graph, because now we are producing 1% of the 500,000 tons which we expected to be producing. I invite more people to join us in this industry. And two, when it comes to value addition, Mr. Bees Africa organizes trainings to teach people on value addition. For example, on 27th November, this coming Saturday, we have a training in Namugongo. We have a training where we shall be teaching people on value addition of bee products. So if you're a beekeeper down there in the village and you're still worried about market, please come and we teach you how to add value in your product. And two, I normally talk of a saying which I got from one of my mentors, that there are two farmers and they're all cassava farmers. If one farmer harvests cassava from the garden and presents it to the people with its soil, and another one first washes it, the one who washes it will get quicker market than the one who presented it to the people with their soil. That is the importance of value addition. Value addition increases the price of something 6 times. So you can be part of our training on 27th November in Namugongo. As I welcome more people, our viewers, to come and join this industry. Come and join us in beekeeping. Come and work hand in hand with us at Mr. Bees Africa. We shall make your dreams come true in honey business.
Sometime soon in studio, and we engage more into this conversation. And great having you on the show, sir. Stephen in Ginger. Okay. All right, and we are back. And Bradley, so the picture here is quality of beekeeping, and then the quality of honey that you take. Very important, very vital. And ngawo manyi nti omubisi gwenjuki twayimanga obuyimba edda nnyo tinjagala mumanyi n'obuyimba bwalaavu bwe muweereza abaana b'abandi nga mubabuzaabuza nti owoomanga omubisi gwenjuki okitegeera ate kati neweebuuza omuntu oyinza okugamba munaawe omanga omubisi gwenjuki nga tomanyi quality ki gy'omugamba, waliwo omukwafu ne wabaawo oguli light, kati you be specific mubisi ki ogwenjuki gwawomanga oba luganda lutuufu olwo. Anyway, it has been Smartmain's business, and before I actually end up, nina kastori kenjagala obbanyumiza. When nali omuto, zijukira nalina emyaka 14, ebbanga eryo we nalina emyaka 14 nali mu senior 2 twali mu holiday nga ntambula nno nvudde ewaka lwali lunaku lwa mukaaga tiimu nali ngenda laba Premier League nzijukira bulungi omupiira ogwo gwali wakati wa Arsenal ne Man City. Half time weyaggwa we nali ndabira omupiira tewaaliwo kaabuyonjo nenziruka nveeyo kati we nali nzija okugenda olaba omupiira ogwo nina akafo ke nayitiramu fuka kaali kazigo omanye obuzigo buno obubeera mu slum areas naye nga kali well cemented. It wasn't actually pavement but wali well cemented. Kati nga nyimirira wano nenfuka omusulo ne gukkirira ne gufloating eri omanyi nga yebanagamba nti ennaku z'omubbi zibaana nali myaka 14 half time weyatuuka neŋŋenda nzireyo mu katoyi kange nze kendowooza ke nafunye nga nfuka kumpi n'ennyumba y'omuntu nafuka kola olunaku we nafuka omusulo ne bugenda ne butiirika mpolampola kumbe maaso waliwo abakazi 3 omanyi obuzigo bw'e Kampala nga bali mu kunyumya wafeeyo kajjansi bali mu kunyumya nno bakuba olwali omukazi kwe kulaba otuzizza otukola ki otuyiika kwe kugamba nti nerindako kiki ekyo ekiyiika agenda okwekanga agenda okusanga nga nzijeeyo sesandiyagadde yisa mu maaso mukiyisa mukamwa naye nga ndi mukufuka omukazi yankwata empale bwa papa siriwerabira lunaku olwo naye kyenasooka oyiga mu lunaku olwo nti do the right thing at the right place and at the right time. Namanya nti okufuka ku mbalaza si kirungi okufuka ku bbali si kirungi era kuva olwo namanya nti buli wengenda mu kifo I need to actually look out where is the toilet. And I think you can actually pick from that. What is your most memorable childhood moment? I'm Joram Paul Sonko. Thank you for joining us. Follow us on Twitter, Smart24TV, Facebook, Smart24TV. And I'm Joram Paul Sonko on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you for all that have joined us. This is Smart Main's Business. Till tomorrow. Ciao, adios.